Hi, hello, I'm Chrissy. Quick intro for today since I already in real time gave an intro for this video, but I wanted to do a fast rundown. Today I will be doing the Blob drawing challenge I do with my art. It is drawing one random thoughtless blob on a page and looking at it and drawing whatever you can see in it. That's the whole concept of today's video. This is similar to the squiggle drawing challenge, so if you saw that, this is pretty much the same thing. I use any art medium like watercolor, marker, acrylic paint, inks, anything that can make a big solid color, and I draw one big blob or shape, and that helps guide me what I draw. If you like the traditional art video for today and want to see more, please do share the video around so we can get more of a push on them. If you want to see these drawings in a speed draw format without me talking, you can find that on my Xtra's channel, and if you would like to see the raw footage of my art with background music, you can find that on my Uncut channel. Also, I'm really trying to get monetized at some point, so sticking around for the whole length of the video helps my watch time, so stick around if you'd like to support me that way. Of course, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to support me as well. This video is perfect to draw along with, so if you care to tag along, grab a sketchbook or something to draw with, and we can draw together. I used only watercolor and a few black markers in today's video. Just one random watercolor palette and two black Tombow markers. Of course, my sketchbook spread is character related, like the majority of my art, so maybe you have some characters you want to draw as well? I know I always have some sitting around that need fresh art, or if you care to draw, if you care to draw the characters in today's video, feel free to do so and send it in the Discord server linked below in the description. I would love to see any of your art. With that little ramble out of the way, let's get into the actual art part of the video. Alright, welcome back to another sketchbook video. I hate this squeaky chair and I'm not even sitting in it. Alright, today, if you don't know, if you haven't seen my last thing, I did the, I don't know, we're calling it squiggle challenge. Kate Cruze, my sister, she does it. I'm gonna say it's her challenge because she does it all the time. Probably someone on this earth came up with it before her, but we're not gonna do with that. So today, however, we're gonna do the thing that I do a lot in my sketchbook, which is like, I call Blob, the Blob challenge, if you will. It's where you take a paint, a marker, whatever you want, take a light color or medium toned color, as long as a black can be seen over it, and you just draw a random shape. And then whatever you see in that shape is what you draw. I do this a lot for different poses and characters, so whatever character I see first is what I draw. Today we're doing a little bit differently. I'm gonna split this page into 4 sections. I'm going to be choosing paint and doing the color based off the 4 characters I have chosen, so we are going to do that. Let me split the page in half real quick. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm gonna try my best. Check out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 11 it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's not middle. I say that's middle. Thank God I wasted my time doing that. It really doesn't need to be perfect. I'd say that's not even. This is a little more than that, but that's okay. And I'm going to be using these watercolors. Yes, I do have like a set of professional watercolors. Do I like them more than this? No, I do not. Well, let me rephrase that. I like the color options on the other ones. I love the pigment on these, so I just like them. It's just easier to get something out of. I hate when it's a light watercolor pigment and it's giving me nothing but chalk. So we are going to, let me figure out. I usually do the female and then male and make them opposite. We're going to start with Galena, and the reason why I'm doing watercolor for this is because I feel like when you have some sort of marker and you're drawing a blob, you have more control over it. I don't want control over it. I want it to be as blobby as it can be. I want it can splatter, it can be any kind of shape it wants to be. I just want it to give me something. I am going to put paper under this real quick because I've never actually put water on this paper because it's super thin. So that's going to be a test for today. There's nothing drawn underneath it. If we cannot crumple the paper, that would be fabulous. All right. So Galena is primarily purples and blues. So I'm thinking that color. Blue violet, that's what it's telling me. Oh, I want a water. No, I want a lot of water because I want it to be fairly opaque. And I might even just, nope, not that opaque. Come on, give it to me. I'm just gonna close my eyes and there, that's a blob. You see how that's kind of something? How it's telling you something, but it's not. You gotta read it and you gotta tell it what it is. And that's how I live my life every day. We can add a little bit more pigment onto that though. Sorry, just filling it in. It almost looks like a goat head with 3 horns. Maybe I should do this for like a character design challenge at some point. But for now, we're gonna do this as just an art challenge. So the next character, oh, we actually have 3 girls and a male. I meant to get 2 males and 2 girls, but that's okay. The next one, we're going to, actually let me look at the colors of these. We have purple, which was Galena's. We have green for Sugar. We have a red for my crab character that I haven't named, and a yellow for Hazel. Let's do the yellow next. The yellow will complementary the purple, and we'll do it across. And then the green and red will be complementary. I'm so smart, you guys. Of course, there's only one yellow option here. I'm gonna take that and close my eyes, and just, the yellow's a little hard to see, but I can see it. Then we're going to do, we'll do the red up here, I guess. And we will do, should we do the red orange or the red red? I like the red orange better. I feel like the red red isn't actually red and the red orange is red. Blobbing it up. And then lastly, we want green, and we're gonna do like the lime green, which is calling it yellow green, which is actually valid and fair. Mix, 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 mix. And that one's just big blob. All right, not the squeaky chair. Okay, I will set those aside because those need to dry regardless. Squeak! So this is what we are starting with here. You can see how they're just like blobs of color, but I'm going to be focusing in on where the color's edge stops and trying to just, not necessarily, you don't have to fit the requirements of the blob. We just want to see something that will activate inspiration in our brain to come up with something new to draw in different angles and different poses and maybe abstract. It's just trying to get you to draw something, and I like doing these, like the squiggle method and this method, the blob method, is because I don't have to look up drawing poses references, because a lot of the times I will sit there scrolling through references when in reality I could just do this and my brain could see something that's there. I mean, references are good for when you need to get anatomy correct, but usually references for me are just me trying to figure out what the heck to draw. So this just eliminates that, and that makes my life better. So what I'm going to be doing, like in the squiggle challenge, I'm going to be using my Tombow marker, and I'm just going to be going without a sketch over these and praying to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ that this will work. It's not a joke. And of course, I do have some other little liners. These are Tombow liners, if you're curious. Maybe I'll use those, maybe I won't. I think another fun thing to do would be using Sharpie over these that match the color at the bottom, but I'm really digging the like solid black line art. I'm not usually someone who loves that look, but I've been kind of digging it with this sketchbook, so that's what we are going to do. Maybe afterwards I will go in and add some more of the main colors, but we will do that at the end. So that's the intro. I will be jumping into these on my own. You will get voiceover Chrissy, and then at the end of each, I will come back and talk about what I learned, what I feel about it, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, starting with our first blob drawing. We have our purple color for Galena. As per usual, these kinds of drawings are my warm-ups for the day, so this is the first thing I will be drawing. The blob painted here was giving so very clearly Galena's side view. I tend to see side views first and most out of everything, which is funny because I am very weak in drawing them. I'm not good at them at all. It's taken a lot of practice to just be mediocre at them, and they vary depending on characters. The shapes up at the top helped me make placement for the snakes in her hair. I just started with her eyes, drawing and making my way out, feeling my way through her head and where all her features sat. The first one is the simplest, but the execution I feel is on point. I love the black shadow blocking and the weight and width of the lines. I even added some cross-hatching. The only thing I wish I could have done is done a drawing that showed off her constellation patterns on her face better, but overall, it's a great start. Alright, okay, we have the first one done. I think this one's gonna be the easiest out of all of them because I honestly got really lucky with like the shape of the blob and how it fit her side view and ear very well. My favorite thing, I think, is the black color blocking in the back. I don't get to do that with my digital art a lot because it doesn't fit my style. However, when I'm doing inking, I really like it. I think it's so fun, and I almost didn't do it because I was like, no, it might be too much, but I'm glad I did. I bet I could go over that. I wonder if I could. Jelly rolls are either really good or really bad sometimes. You can hardly see that on my phone. Yeah, but like if I went in with like a white liner and like even pushed those even more, you get my point. It adds a little bit of something. I started out with my Tombow marker. I decided that the bullet nib on this one was just too big. Also, it started to kind of bleed a little bit because the paper was still a little dry, so make sure your paper is dry. Use watercolor. That was my mistake. Honestly, I just didn't want to wait. So that's Galena's. We're gonna write her name real quick. Love. That's Chrissy's sketchbook font, by the way, if anyone's ever curious. I could go even further with like cross-hatching and stuff, but I don't feel that I want to do that. So yeah, that's the first one, and we'll move on to the next one. I have a dog. Oh, hi. You guys want to see Wasabi? Wasabi. Wasabi. Okay, that's enough. Our second blob drawing, we have our character, which I just named Sebastian, because actually before I started drawing this drawing, I watched The Little Mermaid and I was like, sick name, I'm stealing it. He is a whale and crab fusion. I designed him in a 3 emoji character design video. I will have it linked in the iCard above if you're interested. Of course, the first thing I saw was a side view, but I tried to pull his head a little bit closer to the camera so it's not exactly a dead-on side view because we can just barely see his other eye. I am getting so lucky with these blob shapes because this one looked exactly like Sebastian from like about the waist up. I could very clearly see where I could place his arms and shoulders. The hardest thing to draw was probably his top because I haven't really drawn him all that much. His collar kind of confused me and I just kind of messed up the first line, but it works, I guess. I love the patterns on his shirt and his body. Those details just add something that makes it come all together. So I just finished the second one, and this one, clearly we can see the differences between the first and the second. This one has a little more details of the pattern work and cross-hatching. I honestly wish there was some like black I could draw on his sunglasses. I'm gonna do this freehand, watch this. This is either gonna be good or bad. So it's bad. We commit to things. Whatever. It's kind of hard to tell what that is, but fun regardless. But as I was saying, I kind of wish there was like a black like silhouette in the background to like solidify him in. I don't think I will add one because Galena's has like her hair, of course, as her blocking right there, but I just don't have anything for him. I mean, I could do like waves or something, but I don't want to do something outside of the blob. Like hers made sense, his doesn't make sense. So I'm just gonna leave it there. I like this drawing quite a bit. I actually, going in, wasn't sure how I was gonna situate his body, and I also wasn't gonna do the little like floral pattern on his shirt because I started doing his little almost scale markings on his arms and accidentally did it on the sleeve, and I was like, oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. So I made them look kind of like little tiny flowers because he does have like flowers on his shirt, but I of course wasn't going to put in like the tiniest detail of it, which I kind of like that it's there. So that's him. I actually am going to name him Sebastian. I think that's funny. I think that's great. And I think I can't see myself naming another character Sebastian, so I'm cool with naming him that. Do I know how to spell Sebastian? Yes, I do. Okay. If you don't know, he is a mix of a whale and crab. Whale and crab? Yes, whale and crab. I did them in a character design emoji challenge, and this is actually the second time I'm ever drawing him. I haven't drawn him since then, and that's a bit frustrating. If I spell the name Sebastian wrong, no I didn't. I love when I spell things wrong, it's great. I think it fits. Not that I was watching Ariel 1 and 2 the other day. Just a good name. It's a fun name. If I spell it wrong, let me know in the comments, and then you can correct me. There we go. Sebastian. I can't wait till Katie gets to see the name of that. I think she's gonna love it. That is our second one out of the way. And now moving on to 3. 3 and 4 I think are gonna be the hardest just because their blobs are a little less undefined. I'm really gonna have to use my third eye. My artist eye in doing this. So it's gonna be fun. Plus, the last 2 are my females, Sugar and Hazel. Sugar is a Batgirl character, so she does have wings, and then Hazel is like a chinchilla kind of looking character, and she doesn't have arms. So that'll be interesting. But we are going to start with Sugar's next. Before I start here though, what I kind of see, and I want to say this because this, I am going with just marker. The other ones I could see very well, and Galena's was a side view, Sebastian's was like a third view-ish, a little less. So, and his face is so like very him, so it's easier to replicate. Here, Sugar, I have not drawn her that often, but she does have like a similar basic girl face to my normal, but I'm going to try to do a back bend here. So her bust will be right here and her head will be right there where her arm comes down, and maybe one comes up here. That's what I'm seeing. Maybe that's her wing. And it's just, if it looks like really crooked, I'm also like sitting at a weird angle, so I'm gonna do my best and just kind of go with what I see. But I just want to clarify that I'm not feeling super confident going into this one. So, but that's what I see, and I'm gonna go with it. And I have a rule: when I have an idea for my sketchbooks in traditional art, I go for it regardless of if it's a good idea or bad idea. So we're gonna commit. Our third blob drawing. Next, we have our character Sugar. I really love that these videos are letting you guys see more of my different characters, because sometimes there are just like random obscure characters I don't get to draw as much and don't get enough attention, and Sugar is one of them. Honestly, all 4 of these characters are those, so I'm glad we're doing this. Sugar here was probably the hardest for me to draw just because of the way I saw her sitting, and the angle in which I was drawing her was a bit awkward, but I commit in my sketchbooks, so I was going to go with whatever I saw. Our first drawing was a side view headshot. The second one was a half body, so now I wanted to make sure I did something a little more full. I incorporated her legs, arms, and wings. Even her tail made it in there. I could use some more practice on drawing Sugar's face. I think that's very clear. I started with her eyes and made my way around drawing and placing things in. Doing these, I just try to trust my spatial awareness of distance of limbs and features. This one is super cute, and honestly, Sugar is just an A+. We love her. Okay, so I just finished the third one. It is how I wanted it, except I do the face super small, where I wanted the body more over here where it matched where I saw it. However, I tried to reroute and still follow some of the shapes, like where the leg was and the wing and the arm and all of that funness. I think her face turned out much better than I thought it would. There goes my wrist. I was just popping it like that. You want to see if my hand will pop? You guys want to see this? That's a tiny little pop right here in my hand. That's it for Sugar. I don't have too much to say about her. I do like how we're going from a headshot, a bust, to more of a, not a full body, but between, almost cut at the knees. And I think the pose is fun. I don't think I would have drawn this. It wouldn't be a traditional art video without Wasabi barking in the background. Let's write her name in together. This is Sugar. Sugar actually has a brother named Jagger. He is also a bat, but he is a wingless bat. And they also have a sister I'm designing right now, another bat character, and she is going to be a redesign, so be on the lookout for that. If you're interested in seeing other videos that Sugar is in, there is a McQueen video where I drew Jagger and Sugar together. I will link it in the iCard above if you are so interested in that. Now we are going to move on to the fourth and final one, where we will draw Hazel. This one I think is going to be the hardest. I have not really drawn Hazel too much, and when I have drawn her, she has been a little complicated, which is odd because you think her design wouldn't be too hard, but the fact that she doesn't have arms, I have to really focus in on what I'm doing. I need to make sure I understand what I'm gonna go forward with in what pose. I could use her tail to try and avoid doing anything really difficult, but I'm not seeing anything in particular. We could draw her body going this way and her tail going that way, almost like some of the shapes I see here. Maybe her ears right there, her face there, and then that's kind of where her waistline or hips would be. I love loud cars. Do you hear that? I mean, that's ridiculous. So I think that's what I'll do. So her tail will be going in this direction and Hazel will be going in that direction. So it's gonna cut off at the hips. Maybe I'll include her knees there, but I did that over there, so maybe not. All right, I'm gonna jump into that. Our final drawing here, we have our lovely girl Hazel. This is our fourth and final blob drawing. I knew Hazel's would be the most tedious out of all of them. I haven't drawn her much, and I have never drawn her side view, so that's fun. I could have chosen to not draw her side view, but I commit to things once again. She also doesn't have any arms, so I had to keep that in mind when drawing her, because I was drawing her once mindlessly on my digital drawing tablet and just drew her arms by accident. So I didn't want to make that mistake because I am working with marker. I also tend to hide the fact I can't draw head shapes and skulls under hair, and I couldn't do that here. I'm very bad at head shapes. I had to pay attention to where her ears connected to her head and where her hat sat. I'm really bad at drawing like the connection of the jaw where like the back of the skull is, or like it's very confusing. I tried my best to make it look not awkward, but it doesn't look exactly right. Good drawing inspiration though. I could take any of these and turn them into final drawings digitally or traditionally. I love the lines on her skirt. I love drawing those in and seeing what directions and angles they sit on. It just looks nice without putting in a ton of effort and giving the fabric that kind of depth. I just gotta be smart about line placement to get that fabric to have movement. Right, I just finished, boom, okay. I just finished Hazel's part. Turned out better than I thought. Her face is a little weird. I've never drawn a side view of her, and we all know Chrissy's strong point isn't side views, and that jaw's a little weird. However, I like want to shape it so it's not so, but I'm like afraid of ruining it, so I'm not going to touch it anymore. I think it's pretty darn good for Hazel. I think I like the pose. I like the drama, the dramatics. So we are going to write her name down. No, of course I've done Hazel in a video. She was a character redesign I did on Toy House. She's one of my favorite girlies to ever exist. And let's move my light. Sorry I bumped you guys. And let's get a gander at the final product. All right, you guys, sorry for the background mess. I know it's always like so ugly looking and not my squeaky chair. This is all of them. Let me number them. I think I love every single one. Where do I wanna? Number one. Let me do the brush pen. Riveting content, Chrissy. If any of you do this, like kind of like little method of drawing challenge, whatever you want to call it, please feel free to join the Discord server below and share it to me. I'd love to see it. And also, of course, if you decide to draw today's characters in the video, please let me know. My toy house is always linked in the description, so you can find my characters down in my toy house as well. If you don't know what toy house is, it is a website where you can put your characters on there, all their references, keep all their art together into one thing, almost just like a big file dump of all your characters. But my toy house is linked in the description, so you can always find any of my characters to draw there. I am really happy with how this turned out. I think I like it even more than the squiggle method, just because I got some really fun poses, and honestly, I just really like the look of just black line art. The only time I ever like line art like this is on its own. I like almost never want to color it, and I love watercolor and how it like shifts underneath with like the light tones. I think it's so fun, and I hope you guys do try this because this was so great. And of course we need to write the date somewhere. Honestly, I don't care. Like, you could look at my page and be like, there's so many like words and like things in the corners that like ruin it. I don't care. The month of May is 5, right? Oh, I embarrassed myself yesterday. It's gonna be 6, 20. That is it for all of this. I hope you did enjoy. Man, that squeaky chair. This is the final of it. I will let outro Chrissy take it from here, but thank you so much for joining. Maybe I'll draw. I'm really digging in the side view of Hazel. I wish her face was a little bit better. Maybe I will do that for a speed draw. I'm not sure. But anyway, that is it for me. Thank you for joining. You recording? Mm-hmm. Oh. What are you gonna say? Come here and you can see. They're good.
Wasabi. These are good.
Which one's your favorite?
Probably sugar.
Sugar's your favorite? Why sugar?
Yeah, I like sugar.
You just like sugar?
I do.
Which one's your least favorite?
Probably just Sebastian.
I should.
Maybe Hazel. Actually, it might be Hazel's. There's something about it's kind of hard to feel like what the focal point is. Wow.
Sick. Wasabi appreciation. Wasabi.
Wasabi.
You don't need to be doing that. Okay, is that all?
Yeah, I don't know. The Hazel's just, I don't know. For some reason, my brain is finding it harder to read. Also, her tail wouldn't be placed down here. And be, well, I guess if it went it's just her tail placement here is a little weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. How do you feel about that, Mom? How do you feel about that?
It ain't colored.
It ain't colored. So you don't like it because it's not colored? You don't like any of them? Katie, shush.
What? Oh.
So you don't like any of them?
I like the drawings, yes.
So
I wish you'd have finished it instead of doing
Finished? The hell you mean finished?
it's not finished?
no.
No. Which one's your favorite?
No.
Sugar's your favorite?
Sugar's my favorite too, to be fair.
Really? I liked Hazel until you absolutely just dunked on me.
Well, look at her bottom tail placement. It either go under the skirt or closer right here. And it's hard to read a vocal point. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to understand.
I also like cleans.
The look Mom gave me is, I don't know how to read art at all.
She ain't got no legs.
Duh.
Is that all?
I like how you cut off the body with the skirt. I think that's fun and cute.
I think it is fun and cute. I thought maybe I'll do that for like a speed draw.
I would have preferred you cut off like Sugar's, if you swooped the tail around or something and made it point like inwards to her, because then it would have a directing line and it would have cut off the legs nicely. But that's just me getting professional on you.
Oh, the tail was a last minute thing.
Maybe even move the wing out a little further and move this wing a little, but whatever. It looks really good.
Any more comments, Ma?
Mm.
That's all for this video. I plan on doing more sketchbook pages with some more drawings like these. They are super quick, but also fun. Well, not super quick, but faster than my normal work. These videos always seem to be so long, and regardless of how long my footage is and how fast it gets, I am not trying to make them this long, but oh well. If you have an opinion on the length of the video, let me know. I know most of you like videos that go up to like maximum 15 minutes and nothing really more, which me too, but sometimes I just have too much content and can't make it shorter. Like always, let me know what you think of today's video. Thanks for sticking around the whole way through, and if you just skipped to the ending, thanks for clicking on my video anyway. That's all I have for today's video. I will see you in the next one. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. If you have anything I could pray for, please let me know in the comments below. I love you. God bless you and have a wonderful day.